Hi and welcome to a new video with Athena Quant. So what if I told you there was an indicator that could have practically screamed at you about the 2020 market crash, all while everyone else was just blissfully calm? Well, today we're diving deep into the market's true fear gauge. It's a tool that uncovers this deep-seated fear, or even more importantly, dangerous complacency, right before a huge move. Let's get into it. I want you to cast your mind back to January 2020. The market was on fire, hitting all-time highs. The VIX, the famous fear index, was basically snoozing, signaling total calm. But underneath that perfectly serene surface, a huge warning was being completely ignored. The cost to protect yourself against a nightmare scenario, a crash, was getting cheaper and cheaper. Not because the risk was gone. Oh no, it's because almost nobody believed it could actually happen.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to uncover that silent alarm that went off right before the 2020 crash. Then, we'll break down what volatility skew actually is. After that, we'll meet its three faces: fear, health, and complacency. And then, we'll build a practical action plan before wrapping it all up with a super simple cheat sheet you can start using right away.
Okay, let's dive into that silent alarm. How can a market that's hitting record highs every single day be secretly terrified, or even worse, just dangerously unprepared for what's next?
This right here gets to the heart of the matter. Extreme complacency. You see, when the big players, the huge institutions, stop buying portfolio insurance, which is what put options really are, well, the price of that insurance just collapses. It's basic supply and demand. But think about what it means when demand for protection drops to near zero. It means the market has become incredibly fragile, totally convinced that absolutely nothing can go wrong.
And this was the result. A catastrophic 35% crash in just a few weeks, as the COVID crisis slammed into a market that was caught completely off guard. The VIX? It didn't see it coming. But another indicator, the volatility skew, was flashing a bright red warning about all that complacency bubbling under the surface. And that is the signal we're here to understand today. All right, so for section 2, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly is volatility skew? And why do so many professional traders see it as the market's true fear gauge? So what is this thing? Well, put simply, volatility skew just measures the demand for crash protection. You have to remember that in the options market, investors are always more afraid of a sudden crash than they are hopeful for a huge, sudden surge. It's just human nature. And because of that fear, they're willing to pay a premium for put options, that portfolio insurance we talked about. The skew is really just a number that tells you exactly how much more they're paying for that insurance compared to what they're paying for call options, which are kind of like lottery tickets, betting on a big rally. Now, this is the perfect way to think about the difference between the VIX and the skew. If the VIX is the market speedometer, it tells you how fast things are moving, then the skew is the steering wheel. It tells you which direction the market is leaning. And here's the key takeaway. Skew is often a leading indicator of trouble, while the VIX tends to show up late to the party. The VIX only spikes after the danger has already arrived. Skew gives you that critical insight beforehand.
So what this tool really unlocks for you is a much better fear gauge. It gives you an early warning system, not just for crashes, but for that dangerous complacency that comes first. And, as we're about to see, when it gets to extreme levels, it becomes an incredibly powerful tool for going against the crowd.
All right, now we're getting to the real heart of it, understanding the three main states or phases of skew. You can almost think of these as market personalities. You got the fearful market, the healthy market, and the dangerously complacent market. This table right here, this is the whole playbook. First, when the skew is steep, let's say above 12%, fear is really high. Institutions are panic buying protection. So what do? You reduce your risk, but you also get ready to buy that fear. Next, when skew is normal, say between 5 and 8%, things are balanced. It's a healthy market. But the real danger zone is a flat skew, down below 3%. This is maximum complacency. Nobody is hedging. This is your signal to cut your own exposure and buy that cheap protection for yourself. Now, don't let the formula scare you off, because the math behind this is actually super simple. All we're doing is comparing the price of a standard put option, our insurance, with the price of a standard call option, our lottery ticket. The formula here uses what are called 25 delta options, which is just a fancy, standardized way to make sure we're always comparing apples to apples. Okay, theory's great, but let's make this really concrete. Let's walk through a quick example so you can see exactly how this works in the real world. So first, we look at the implied volatility, which is really just the price for our put option, and let's say it comes in at 22.5%.
Next, we check the price for our call option. And just as you'd expect, it's a lot lower, at 15.5%. This makes total sense, right? There's just less demand for those upside lottery tickets than there is for downside insurance.
So then you just do the simple subtraction. You take the call from the put, and you get a skew of 7.0%. Now, if we look back at our guide, that falls right in the middle of that normal range. It's telling us we've got a healthy, balanced market. No red flags. It's honestly that simple.
All right, section 4, you get the what and the why. Now let's talk about the how. How do you actually put this thing to work? Let's build out an actionable plan.
Here is your 4-step playbook. It's super straightforward. 1. Just check the skew once a week. You're looking for any trends where it's starting to flatten out. 2. Use the skew to time your hedges. You want to buy that protection when it's cheap, when the skew is flat, and maybe think about selling it when it's expensive and skew is steep. 3. Use those extreme spikes in skew as a contrarian signal. Widespread panic often means a market bottom is getting close. And 4. This is the golden rule. Always combine skew with the VIX. The absolute most dangerous signal you can see is a low VIX combined with a flat skew. That's the alarm bell. Now, before you start using this, it's really important to avoid a few common traps. First, don't just automatically assume that a steep skew is bearish. Remember, extreme fear is often a contrarian bullish signal. Second, never ever ignore a flat skew just because the VIX is low. I'm going to say it again. That combination is the definition of complacency, and it is the absolute most dangerous environment. And finally, always use context. An 8% skew might be normal today, but maybe it was high a year ago. You always have to compare it to its recent history.
And that brings us to our final section. We've covered a ton of ground, so let's put it all together into one simple cheat sheet that you can use as your new and improved fear gauge.
This right here is your ultimate takeaway. If the skew is high, we're talking above 12% or in its top historical percentile, that's a sign of extreme fear. It's time to put on your contrarian hat and start looking for things to buy. If it's in that normal 5 to 8% range, hey, the market's healthy, business as usual. But if that skew gets flat, below 3% or in its bottom percentile, that is a danger signal. It is screaming complacency, and the smart move is to dial back your risk and buy some of that cheap protection.
So I want you to think of it this way. The VIX tells you how loud the market is shouting. It's the headline news. It's loud, it's obvious, and it's often late. But the skew tells you what the market is whispering. It's the inside scoop that reveals the true underlying story of fear and greed. So the final question is, now that you know how to listen, what story will you hear?